Brother Kadash, start off by giving our praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rekakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders. Peace, blessings, honors to all the brothers in the truth. The question is America being plagued? Which us brothers that have woke up to the truth, we know that America, which is Mystery Babylon, that great horror is obviously being plagued by the Lord. A lot of people kind of look over that. They see the things happening to America and they want to lie to themselves. And the way they look at it is it's like a bad thing happened to a place like this. And then they say, well, the Lord's going to come help. The Lord's going to save this place. The Lord's going to help us at some type of point. And then they pray to the Lord, and then, they kind of get saddened with seeing America being destroyed little by little. Some of the plagues, like the financial system is inflation, and then hyperinflation coming. Some of the natural earthquakes, that's been happening. Look what happened last year in Texas, with the power grid going out and a lot of people, not having food, not having gas, not having energy to power their houses. Look at the tornadoes that came through the Midwest. Look at a lot of stuff that be happening with the hurricanes. It's been some big hurricanes last year. So the question, and it obviously points to the answer, is that yeah, America's being plagued by the Lord. And it's coming little by little, and it's getting worse and worse. Kind of like it's kind of like a woman having contractions. The closer it gets to the baby coming, which is the end, the contractions get worse and worse. And that's what we're seeing here in America. But people lie to themselves and they say things like, oh, nah, the Lord's going to save this place. Or they pray for it. Or they be sad when they see something bad happen to this place. And it be our own people. It be our own Israelites that feel this way. But see, the thing is like, how can you feel that way? This is great times. You should be rejoicing at seeing your enemy fall. But there lays another problem, is that a lot of Israelites don't look at this place as being like a place of captivity, and the Edomites being our enemies. They don't look at that. They look at this as the best place in the world. They're on that American dream, the Mystery Babylon juice shit. So they look at it as like, this is the greatest place in the world. I'm praying for things to get better here and stuff like that, whereas we look at it like we're praying for the Lord to take this place out at any time now. So you see the differences. So but the question is what is the facts though? Is this place being plagued or not? No matter how you feel about it, if you want this place to keep going, if you hope the Lord heals this place, could we answer if America's being plagued by the Lord or not? And if the answer comes back to be yes, that America is being plagued by the Lord, then what does that mean? So then we have to ask ourselves the question, well, why? Why is the Lord plaguing America? And then it's all going to come back full circle, because this place is wicked, and what this place has done to the Israelites, and the Israelites following the Edomites and this place into sin pretty much, and that's what it comes down to. America, the Lord is not for America, and the Lord he will destroy America. If you believe that the Vatican City is Mystery Babylon, it don't matter. At the end of the day, America, what the Bible clearly points to being Mystery Babylon, will be destroyed. There's not going to be a such thing as the United States of America when the Lord sets his kingdom up. And see, that's another thing. The wacky-tacky Christians have the world believing, and Catholics, they have the world believing that the kingdom of heaven is going to be like in the skies, in the heavens, literally, But you could just read Revelation chapter 21, and it clearly shows you that the heavens, that the kingdom is going to be here on earth. I mean, you can read Isaiah chapter 60. It talks about gates being open for the other nations and the kings of the earth to bring, whatever they have to us. It talks about in Zechariah chapter 14, the Israelites taking the wealth and the riches of all the other nations, So where we going to take that wealth and then we going to go into the sky with it? No. So the actual kingdom of the Lord is going to be here on earth, So now when you understand that, you have to ask yourself the question, okay, so if the kingdom of heaven is actually going to be on earth, I mean, it talks about golden streets, right, in Revelations 21. So if it's actually going to be on earth, it talks about minerals, the gates being made out of pure pearl, one gigantic piece of pearl, and that's all earthly things. You know what I mean? So if that's so, if which that's already proven, the kingdom will be on earth, right? So if the kingdom's gonna be on earth, you have to ask yourself, if the kingdom of the Lord is gonna be on earth, what's gonna happen to America when the Lord sets up the kingdom? If you're a Christian Catholic, it don't matter how you feel about us or this truth, right? Just ask yourself that, right? What is going to happen to America? Will America be around and be a country in power and be the number one power, superpower on earth when the kingdom of heaven is established on earth? No. So will America even be a country, right? When the kingdom, see, a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people think that the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the Lord is going to be in the land of Israel, right? And then over here in America, the Americans still going to be living and still going to have a country and stuff like that. No, man, that's not going to happen. So what's going to happen to America? It's going to be destroyed. I mean, that's the end all be all. That's what it comes down to. America will not be around when the kingdom of heaven is established on earth. So if America's not going to be around, the people of America and the people that's running America, the elites, they're going to fight for it. They're not just going to say, okay, the Lord came back. Okay, well, look, we're going to destroy America. We're going to hand the keys over to the world, being the number one superpower. We're going to hand that over to the Lord. And we're going to get out his way. They're not going to do that. The Bible actually tells you different. It tells you that they're going to fight against the Lord in order to keep their power. Revelations 12, a war in heaven, Michael and the archangel, right? Second Ezra chapter 13, a multitude of men came out to subdue the Lord. Revelations 19. The kings, matter of fact, let me get that one because that's a beautiful one. I've been getting that lately. The Bible tells us that they're not just going to willingly hand over their power, their rulership of the earth to the Lord when he come back. They're actually going to try to fight against him. Revelation 19, verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies. So the kings of the earth and their armies, right? Who's number one on that list? The number one superpower, which is who? America. Gathered together to make war against him that sat on a horse and against his army. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is it's saying that, look, when the Lord come back, the armies of the earth is going to try to make war. They're going to fight against him. They're going to try to resist his will because they understand he's going to come back and destroy these other places. When the Lord comes, the Lord is the top of the top, right? The King of Kings, right? God of gods, right? When he comes back, he's going to go after the number one superpower. He's going to go after the top dog that's sitting in his seat, right? And he's going to take him out that power seat. And then the Lord's going to sit in that power seat. That's why it says the Lord, he's going to wear many crowns, roughly paraphrasing, because he's going to take down all these other nations and he's going to take power of the earth. And they're going to fight. And they're going to deceive the people into fighting against the Lord, man. If you jump back a chapter, right? Revelation chapter 18, it breaks down what's going to happen to America. I'm going to start from verse 4, right? It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, that ye receive not her plagues. So it's saying like, man, look, come up out of her. Don't follow the ways of America. And a lot of our people still do to this day. And it's sad, They kept Christmas. They kept New Year's. It's saying, look, don't do none of that. Don't follow the ways of America, right? Because why? And it says, and that ye receive not her plagues. Because this place is being plagued by the Lord. America is being plagued by the Lord. And that's prophecy that was going to happen. We're actually living in the end times right now to actually see it happen. That's great. So we're rejoicing when the Lord is plaguing America. We're happy. It says, for her sins have reached into heaven and God has remembered her iniquities. And that's what it comes down to. This place is wicked. So the Lord is remembering it and he's coming back visiting and he's going to destroy it because of that. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you and double into her, double according to her works in the cup which she has filled to her double. So how was America established, right? Let's pull out a precept that breaks down. See, it's all in the Bible, you know. And let's pull out something that breaks down how America was established, you know. Because this is the reward. The same way that America was established, all those things America, you know, put the Israelites through to establish this place, it's going to have to go through it. That's why when you go to Isaiah 13, it speaks of some of the greediest things that's going to be happening in the end times, you know. It speaks of children being dashed against stones. It speaks of women being aggressively ravished, you know, and being taken, you know. It speaks of war. It speaks of the missiles and nukes hitting the earth, and the earth being and earthquakes causing earthquakes. Sorry, I'm looking for the scripture. It speaks of those things because all those things was happening when they got America here. So like, let me find this precept real quick. Right here. Cause what was happening when they came and got America? When they was trying to establish America, they was ravishing women, doing alligator gate. You know, you got the Trail of Tears with the Native Americans. You know, they was rape, robbery, and murdering. You know, those were the things. So those are going to be the same things that's going to be happening towards the end, which where the door is open. You know, we're walking into the door of the end. It's already here. It's already starting. You know, now Habakkuk chapter 2, right? Verse 4, straight to the point. Behold, his soul which is lifted up. That which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just should live by faith. Esau's soul is lifted up in him against the Lord. You can read about that in like Psalms chapter 10. It says, yes, also he transgressive by wine. He is proud man. Esau is. I mean, should they even think that they could fight against the Lord will, you know? It says, neither keepeth at home who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gather into him all nations and heap it into him all people. How is America? America is a place where a gathering of all people and all nations are here. But even though there's a gathering of all people and all nations, all those people and nations are in subjection to the so-called white man, which is Esau. You know, so it's not like America is a place where all nations come together and they all have equal power. No, all nations are here, but they're all in subjection to the white man Esau. You know, they're all under him, you know. So that's why it says gather into himself. It says, should not all these take up a proverb against him, a tamant proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, because this place is not his. How long to him that letteth himself with thick clay? You know, Canaan, and then the land of Canaan, which is also Israel, belongs to the Israelites. So over there in Israel, the land of Canaan, that belongs to us. In all the Americans, all the North and South, Canada, which that's why it's called Canada, because Canaan, the land of Canaan, all that belongs to the Israelites. But even though when the Lord destroys this place, America, Mystery Babylon, it's not, no man is ever going to dwell on this land. But originally, this was the Native Americans' land, and they are Israelites, you know, from the northern tribes, you know, Gadites, Reuben, Issachar, you know. So he took this land from them, which was not his. So it says, woe to him that increaseth that. So woe is mean those plagues. He's going to be plagued at some point in time, and now we're seeing it today. America is plagued. But it says, and to him that letteth himself with thick clay. Now we go back to the Romans, which the Edomites are the Romans. The Romans that was in power were Edomites. Same thing with the Greeks, right? And because Alexander the Greek was an Edomite, you could trace him back to actually Edom. You know, trace him back all the way back to King of God, which is he was an Amalekite, and then Amalek was a grandson of Edom. You know, you could trace it all the way back, right? So the Romans letting themselves a thick clay is the same thing like America. It's the number one superpower. It's the same thing today. And they're letting themselves with clay, which is weaker, with, you know, these other weaker nations that they're allies with. But they're going to turn up against them. And it tells you that in verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? Right? And it says, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. right? So remember that. We'll revisit. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of thy people shall spoil thee, because of man's blood, for the violence of the land and of the city, and all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth evil covenants to his house, that he may set his nest on high, right? Because they took power. They in the power seat. They on high. That he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to my house by cutting off many people. They cut off the Israelites, and they told the Israelites, no, your name, your Negroes, or your African Americans, or your Native Americans, or your Mexicans. You know, they cut us off from even knowing that we were Hebrew Israelites, right? And it talks about that in Psalms 83. It says, it has sinned against thy soul, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city with iniquity. So if you had to ask yourself, right, and you had to be honest with yourself, how was America established? It was established with blood. They came over here. There's a lot of bloodshed, cowboys versus Indians, right? And they established this city, and it was iniquity because it was something that wasn't theirs. That's why it says, woe to him that increased of that which is not his. You know, so of course, at some point in time, that's going to come back on them, and this place is going to be plagued, and it's talking about the same thing in Revelations 18. I'm going to continue in Revelations 18 because it's something I want to get to. It's verse 7. How much has she glorified herself, right? America glorified herself. We're the number one country in the world, number one superpower, number one military, and live deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she say in her heart, I spit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow, right? So this place saying, look, we always gonna be in power. We good. It's so many precepts coming to my head, right? We're the strongest nation. You know what I mean? This always, you know, they're always gonna be. Pretty much, it's saying this right here. Psalms chapter 10. This is the precepts that go with it. Off the top of the head, I'm gonna get straight to the point. Right, verse 3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart desire, and blesses the covetous who the Lord hearteth. The wicked through the pride, right, of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above all of his sights. We know that the ways of America is very grievous. It says, as for all his enemies, he puffeth up at them. Look at the trucker. They just they got in an accident. They tried to give him 110 years at first. That was very grievous. But they said, look, we got to do it because that's what the law telling us. The law tell us to give him 110 years, you know. Very grievous. It says, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. So that's how you put the Bible together, precept upon precept. So who is the he is talking about? It's talking about the same thing in Revelations chapter 18. Right, it says, look, and I am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow, in verse 7. So it's talking about this place and a people that makes there are people before they're a place, right? And we're going to get that. I'm happy I said that because we're going to get that. There are people before they're a place. They're the Edomites, right? So they think that they're going to be in power, and they're not going to never be in adversity or no sorrow, right? But this place is obviously being played, and it's coming to an end. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, for the strong is the Lord God who judges her. So it's the Lord that's putting these plagues on this place. And when the Lord comes to judge America, you know what I mean? They're going to be found guilty because it's a wicked place. Nobody on earth could... They would try to say it though, but would be correct in saying that America is not a wicked place. They would be incorrect. It's wicked. According to the laws of the Lord, this is a wicked place. We just broke down how it's wicked going back to Habakkuk 2, them cutting off people, nations. You know, look what happened to the Native Americans. Them increasing, you know, stealing the land that wasn't theirs. You know, that's how this place, a lot of different examples of how this place is wicked, you know, and it speaks about that. Salaki. Oh, Salaki for that. It speaks about that right here in Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace, right? Damn, I can't even see the time. It says, and be not still, O God, for lo, thy enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head, right? And it's going to tell you who those enemies are, right? It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So the same thing in Habakkuk chapter 2. They cut off, cut off a people, and the people that was cut off was the Israelites, the Negroes. We can't trace, we don't know nothing that we was doing before slavery. The Native Americans, they on reservations, they don't even, you see what I'm saying? Keep going. It says, for they have consulted together with one cassette, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom. I'll leave it right there. But you got the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, that's why they were saying, going back to the theme that's going around, that America is clearly being plagued with a disease, a pestilence that the Bible calls it right now, right? Clearly, that's why it's a pandemic, right? They were saying that America was working with the Chinese, which are the Moabites, in a lab, and hey, I'll leave that there, that's all I'll say about that, Now it says, but then you might say, well, dang, why would they do that and plague themselves? Well, the thing is they want to depopulate. So even though they do have a hand in plaguing America themselves, even though they run and created it because they want to depopulate, the Lord is putting the spirit on them to do everything. You got to understand, the Lord controls. Going back to Isaiah 45, the Lord created evil. He created good. He created darkness. He created light. He controls all sides. So it says back in Revelations 18, verse 9, and the kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived deliciously with her should bewail her and lament, right? For her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, right? Standing afar off of fear for her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, which you could replace that with America, because there are people before they're placed. So alas, alas, that great city America, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So this place is going to be plagued by the Lord and judged, and eventually it's going to be destroyed, right? Now, this clearly is talking about America, because this is in the Bible, and it's talking about something so great. This is the greatest city. That's why it says that mighty city, right? Which you would say, oh, it says a city. It says a city. Like New York City, America is not a city, but America is a city, because what makes a city? A citizen. So you could be a citizen of Chicago, or you could be a citizen of Illinois. And then you say, well, Illinois is a state. Yeah, but it's also a city, because there's Illinois citizens. And then you could go to Chicago City, and then you live in Chicago. You got a Chicago address on your license. You're a citizen of Chicago. That's a city. But guess what else? You're also a citizen of the United States. So the whole United States is like a big city. So you got to break down the words of what they actually mean, not just what we use them for today, but you got to go through the actual meaning, because you got to remember the Bible was written, the different books by Matthew, John, Luke, throughout history. But a lot of this history was before America was even created. But it prophesied the things that's going to happen to America. In this case, Mystery Babylon, which is America, is going to be destroyed. That's why it's so great, because the greatest city, the number one superpower, number one military, the number one economy on earth is going to be destroyed. And then that's when verse 10 is going to come in. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas. People never thought, like you said, they felt like they never be in adversity. They feel like they never had sorrow. People never could imagine America being destroyed. But then they're going to be like, alas, alas, that great city, America, that mighty city, for 1 hour, it was destroyed. Are they going to be saying that great city Babylon, the kings of the earth, when this is a future prophecy. So it's somewhere in the future, right? This is how we go break this shit down for you scoffers, right? Somewhere in the future, right? This still hasn't happened. Somewhere from right now, you watching this video to the end, this has to happen if you believe in the Bible, because this is future prophecy, right? Are nations going to be standing around, or the kings of the earth actually going to be saying out their mouth that great city of Babylon is destroyed? No, Because it's not talking about ancient Babylon. They're going to be saying America is destroyed. But that's the same thing as saying that great city of Babylon. If the Lord said, look, okay, John the Revelator, I'm going to put this word in his mind, right? America. And then, okay, verse 10 of Revelations 18, I want him to put great city America there. And he going to put great city America, but he don't know what America is. He don't even know anything about it, right? Nobody during that time knows anything about it. But it's just going to be a word, America. It's a mystery word. They don't know what it is. It just says America because the Lord put that in his heart to write that, right? The Esau he had burned every Bible. You see what I'm saying? So it's in code for us to get it. Great city of Babylon. Okay, we know that's the same thing as saying America. Just breaking it down, It's going to be destroyed, So let's get some more precepts. This is Matthew 24, so we can ask ourselves, is this place being plagued by the Lord? And it's going to be destroyed completely. That's going to come. And it's going to be a very, very, very great day, because it's a part of our freedom, of us being free, because I don't know. And like I said earlier in the video, a lot of people look at this as a place like the greatest place on the earth. They rejoice in this place being around. A lot of Israelites don't look at this as being our captivity, but it is, just like going back to Egypt. It was the greatest nation on earth at that time, but it was a captivity to the Israelites. And what did the Lord do? He came back and destroyed it. The Lord plagued Egypt. He didn't heal Egypt, and the Israelites wouldn't been praying for the Lord to heal Egypt. So why it's the same thing today? Why they're in the 2/3, the wicked Israelites praying for America to be healed? No, we're praying for the place to be destroyed the same way we are praying for the Lord to come deliver us from the captivity of Egypt. Now, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. That's a plague, because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of money, and there's a lot of destruction that comes from war. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines. That's a plague, which we're seeing shortages. Go to your Walmart. It don't look like your Walmart looked 10 years ago. Packed. It's stuff. It's so much stuff in there, man. It don't look like that no more. You seeing empty shelves and stuff. Famines, and it's going to get worse here come in the next 6 months, couple months, and stuff like that. It says, and pesticides, we in a pandemic. That's a plague. America's being affected heavily by it. It says in earthquakes in diverse places. It's been a lot of that going on. And all these are the beginning of sorrows. So where they were saying like, look, we should never have sorrows. They're starting to see those sorrows. Just like we said with the whirlwinds, with the tornadoes that hit the Midwest. I think another one just hit down. That's sorrows. That the whole nation gets sad about that. The whole America, people all over America is reading that story. So this place is being plagued. It talks about the love of many shall wax cold. That's a plague in a way. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness and to all nations, and then shall the end come. So they say, look, all nations got to be saved because the gospel is being preached to all nations. Yeah, but it's only being preached to all nations because the Israelites were scattered into all nations. So it's for the Israelites that were scattered into all nations. It says this gospel, right? So you can't just run and say, look, well, the gospel is being preached to all nations. That means all nations can be saved. Well, what is the gospel that's being preached to all nations? We got to ask ourselves, what is that gospel that's being preached to all nations? This is Isaiah chapter 61, right? The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good tidings and to the meek, and he has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted and proclaim liberty to the captives, the Israelites are in captivity, and the opening of prisons to them that are bound, to proclaim, right, the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. Who? To appoint to them that mourn in Zion, the Israelites, to give into them beauty for ashes. That's why we're rejoicing when this place is destroyed, because we're going to get beauty for ashes. The oil of joy for mourning, right? Garments of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, and planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified, right? It says, so we gonna build up the old wastes, because stuff's gonna be destroyed after the second death. Everything, our city's gonna be built and stuff like that. It says, and the strangers shall stand and feed your flock. That's what we telling the other nations, the strangers. Y'all gonna be standing feeding our flocks, man. And the son of the alien should be your plowman and your vine dresser, right? So they're gonna be slaves to us. Right? Verse 6, but ye should be named priests of the Lord. Man shall call you the ministers of God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall you boast yourselves. For your shame ye shall have double. And it just keeps going and on and on. But it's just telling you the Israelites are going to rejoice when this place is destroyed, and we're going to get our kingdom, and we're going to get vengeance on the other nations. Not them being saved with us, but we're going to get vengeance on the other nations. They're going to go into captivity. When we went to captivity, we had men that believed in the Lord. Daniel. I mean, for example, we had righteous men that believed in the Lord, but guess what? They were still under other nations, and they were still in captivity and subjection to those other nations. That's why Daniel got thrown in the lion den, because he didn't have the power not to get thrown in the lion den, even though he had the power, because he had the Lord on his side to survive being thrown in the lion's den. You see what I'm saying? So you can't say just because they believe in the Lord, that don't mean they ain't got to go through captivity. Because we had, there was 5,000 that the Lord fed. They believed in the Lord. But the nation of Israel had to go in captivity. And when the nation of Israel went to captivity, we all went into captivity, if you believe or not. So it's the same thing with the other nations. If they believe or not, they're going into captivity. Same thing, man. So we're going to end it off right here. This is Jeremiah chapter 49. See some more of the plagues that the Lord is bringing to this place, and answer the question, hopefully, is America being plagued by the Lord? This is Jeremiah 49, verse 12. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not the drink of the cup of those plagues, cup of destruction, have surely drunken. The Israelites, all of us, right? And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Shall Esau go unpunished? Their people before their place. Shall America go unpunished for all the things they did to the blacks, the Native Americans, the Hispanics? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord. So the Lord has sworn this by himself, that this place is going to be destroyed. They're going to have to pay for what they did. It says that Basra, and it says Basra because there are people before their place. Who was the people of Basra? The Edomites, right? So the Edomites are here in America today. Ezra's, right, as second Esdras 13 says, right? And it's just calling it Basra because there are people before their place, but it's talking about the Edomites, and it's going to tell you, and it's going to actually break that down. It says, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof should be perpetual waste. So all the cities of America is going to be wasted. There's going to be destruction, desolate. That's why it says become a desolation. And I heard a rumor of the Lord, and an ambassador is sent into the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to battle. So remember Habakkuk 2, it says they should vex her, or they should bite her, all the weak ones, because they was the iron mixed with the clay. And then in Revelations, it says that America is going to be on fire, and the kings of the earth is going to see it, because they going to have something to do with it. They going to shoot nukes on it, right? It says, so it's saying the same thing here. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. But I want to get to who is talking about. Verse 17. Also Edom. That's why I said when it says Basra, it's talking about people before his place. But Basra is the same thing as saying Mystery Babylon here. It's the same thing as saying America. America's going to be destroyed. It's going to become a desolation. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Now when it says Edom shall be a desolation, what is it talking about? Because Edomites are going to go into slavery. Until Obadiah 1 happens and they're all destroyed. So what is it talking about with Edom? It's talking about the place. But is it talking about the place Edom over there in the land by Israel? No, it's talking about where they're at now, where they have their cities, their country, which is America, shall be a desolation, which is one of them. A lot of different places on earth is going to be destroyed, but nothing like what's going to happen here in Mystery Babylon, which is America. Everyone that goes by it should be astonished. Everyone that goes by this place is going to be astonished and shall hiss at the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities. We know that fire and brimstone rained down on those cities and destroyed them. So the same thing's going to happen here in America, but it's going to be nuclear weapons that's going to be raining down. Today, it's nuclear weapons. Thereof, which the Lord created. He put the spirit, he gave them the technology, the information, the knowledge, and the wisdom to create nuclear weapons so he could use them against them. He blessed Esau with the sword when he was Isaac in Genesis chapter 27. And then he's going to take that sword and use it against him. Isaiah 34 breaks that down. The sword being bathed in heaven, it should come down upon Edomium, the people of his curse. No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. So all these plagues is hitting America, but eventually it's going to be utterly destroyed. It's going to become a desert like Egypt. But the difference here is no man's ever going to live on this land ever again. It's just going to be a desert wasteland and nothing but, predator beast and wild animals is going to live over here. So is America being plagued? You answer the question yourself. With that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.